Yo,
You're
what's up, Adam?
Hello, Aiden. How you doing? Long time no see.
Nothing much, man. Just been chilling. What you been up to?
Uh, Geez, I don't know. Working, doing the whole no jumper thing. Doing some porn here and there. I guess you could say.
That's what's up. Yeah, I was debating on getting into porn and shit, but I don't know.
Really? What do I got to do to get you to bang my girl with me? Let's just get right into it.
All right, so let's talk about that. It was obviously a joke. I don't think I'm gonna get into porn and stuff, Adam. But you
Well,
know,
if you do though, I would love to see that pale, shriveled little dick across from me.
it's not pale. Well, it is pale, but I mean, it's not
Not
little.
pale.
I
I
mean,
got a solid pink one.
how Okay, let's talk real quick. I want to talk about everything with you, man.
Okay.
So before everything happened, it broke down. What happened? It was your wife's. It was your wife's birthday.
Her birthday. Well, this doesn't really have anything to do with her
So
birthday.
I'm just saying,
no.
how did you give her the acceptance of letting her, get fucked by another guy?
So at first the conversation kind of started with like, oh, maybe we should do some like swinger stuff because we have like all these couples that we know that we've had on Plug Talk and like they do porn and like the wife and the husband they both do porn and it's all good and they like are into it, or they
Yeah.
do scenes where they like swap and stuff like that. So we were kind of talking about that at first, and then pretty quickly we were like, okay, well, if you're gonna do another dude on camera for the first time, we should probably make it like a big thing, unironically, like a big thing, And so that's how we kind of landed on the Jason Love idea. And, I knew it was going to be viral. I thought it was going to be more viral, like in my world.
Chat, would you
And
guys
then
let your
it turned
wife
out
fuck?
that it was really viral, like kind of everywhere. So that was a little surprising.
Yeah, it's super viral. I think you guys built hype. You guys did a really good job, marketing and stuff. But my thing is just like, bro, Adam, you're already rich. You already got so much shit. Oh, I hear echo.
Sorry, I hit a button by accident, but I just undid it.
It's good. Okay. It comes a point, Adam. It's like you and Lena, I'm happy. You guys got married. You guys, you have a kid or no?
We do.
You have a family, and then out of nowhere, I just see, I saw the video. You said that early. That's a really big dick. And, I was just curious. It's like, what went through your head to just be like, all right, honey, I think maybe you try, fucking, a big black dick, once. For
Well,
cum.
I don't think I would have thought of it on my own. It's more like, she's super tapped into like what her OnlyFans messages want, as well as like what the fans in general want. And actually, that's part of it is because we did a TikTok, like a joke TikTok at the AVN Awards in January, where Plug Talk actually won best porn podcast.
Nice.
And but we did like a fake out thing where like I
Stop
asked
sending
him
emails,
like,
chat.
who's the hottest girl here or whatever, and he's like, I think it's her, and he like walks away with her under his arm or whatever, which like, that was like a total joke. Like we had not thought about it at all. But after that, we just kind of realized like, oh, this is the biggest thing we could possibly do by far is introduce other dudes into what we got going on. And it honestly like has made the world like a billion times more interested in our sex lives, because even like Plug Talk has gone fucking insane, even though this content is not on there. It's just like, I don't know, like somehow the idea of me being down for her to fuck other dudes is like a billion times more interesting to people than the idea of us banging girls together, even though I'm sure people want to see that too.
Well, I think if you guys are in a relationship where it's cool to like have threesomes and bang girls together, cool. Would you ever be considering your wife? I don't know I want to refer to her as respectful as possible. Your wife,
Just my wife, yeah.
yeah, your wife Lena, her getting gang banged by you and another guy. Like, would you guys like ever do that? Like, you two rail or train on her, or
Gangbang is a lot because that usually means like 3 or more dudes,
Okay.
But definitely on Plug Talk in the near future, only plugtalk.com, we're gonna like me and another
ask
dude are gonna
questions,
bang
bro.
together. And we were actually having that conversation last night. Like, could it be a black dude? Should it be a white guy? Like, what direction should we go with this? Because that was one thing that we didn't really expect is that the fact that the dude is black clearly is like one of the most interesting things about this to people. Like the racial element of it for some reason is the biggest thing to people.
So you are considering it's not even consideration. You are gonna basically go with another guy. You're trying to find someone to fuck with you to fuck your wife.
Yeah, because we actually did it one time back in the day, like when we were partying. Like I fucked her with a friend of mine, like within like the first month or two that I even knew her, like way before we were dating. And I'm not gonna lie, it's like a really good memory. Like damn, that was hot. But I started like dating her after that, so I felt like like that. You know, you don't do that with your significant other. So we like never pursued that afterwards. But realizing now how big of a thing it would be on OnlyFans and everything seems like a pretty easy decision, you know?
Okay. So.
And I want you to be the guy, but we'll talk about that more later.
Okay. Well, look. So let's just go back. So you guys have had this thought for a long time about you and his name's Jason, the other porn star.
Well, Jason ended up being the first guy, yeah. But I mean, honestly, we didn't even talk about it until maybe like 6 months ago.
Right.
And then
so it's been a thing for 6 months, though. Yeah.
Slowly, we just kind of thought about it, and then after the wedding and everything, it just kind of fell into place because he happened to be in town one day, and it was like Saturday morning. She's like, "Hey, do you mind if I go shoot with Jason tomorrow?" And I'm like, "No."
So the wife asked.
I'm so glad I didn't have more time to like fucking think about it, you know?
So she said to you, "Hey, honey, do you mind if I go shoot with Jason tomorrow? You know, a scene, a porn." And you said no. I don't mind at all.
Yeah. Because I mean, we had already planned on it. Like we had already talked about it. I had already basically.
Now let's talk about this.
Fair
enough. Let's talk about the after effect of everything. After it happens, how do you feel? And be honest. Before she comes in here, before anyone, how did you feel after this happened?
So basically, it was like a sequence of different emotions. So like before she did it, I would describe myself as like a little worried. Like I had agreed to it, but I was still like worried. Like, am I gonna trip out? Like, am I gonna hate the feeling of knowing that she did this? Am I, is it just gonna be like bad for our relationship? Like I was a little bit worried before she did it. Then she did it, and I didn't really like feel anything bad after knowing that she did it. Although I still, I felt like a little jealous and stuff. And then like I talked about it on the podcast and stuff, and I started to get a shitload of hate. And for like a couple days there, I felt a little conflicted, like, fuck, like maybe this was a mistake. Like, I don't know if I should have done this, whatever. And then at some point, like after maybe like 3-4 days, I just was kind of like, you know what? I'm actually like stoked on this. And especially just seeing like how big it's been for us on social media and OnlyFans and everything. And then just realizing like, okay, like we already did this. Whatever we want to do from here, it's like nothing. It's never going to be as crazy as the world went for this. So then at this point now, I think I like realized that this is almost like a fetish type thing where she's turned on by the idea of me watching the video and getting turned on by it. Like she just sent me like a final cut of the video.
I just watched it. Yeah, I just watched it too. You sent it to me.
And like she's like super turned on by the fact that
so it's a fetish and a turn on. So it's a fetish and a turn on to see you get turned on by her getting fucked by a BBC.
Yeah, she's into it. And I to be honest, like, yeah, just seeing her in that video, like just seeing her looking like a real deal porn star, like fucking filming with this dude, and like, I don't know, it just like actually I don't feel like anger when I see it. I feel like turned on by it, and I feel kind of proud of her. Is how I would describe it.
Okay, so you're proud. Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you. I know this is a question. It's you're open, and that's one thing I gotta say, Adam. You are open. How did the sex feel after he fucked her?
So, she said that her vagina was a bit sore for like 3 days afterwards. So
I can only imagine. I think it's
for me, it felt fine. It didn't feel like it was all stretched out or anything like people are probably assuming, but for her, it was like a little bit painful for a couple of days when we did get into it, but that it's back to normal. And honestly, she's always just had such a tight vagina that like if he wanted to, split the Red Sea and just like open it up a little bit, that's not the worst thing in the world, I feel like.
Right. My thing is this, man. So you are a cuck, yeah?
I think cuck insinuates that there's like some degree of like humiliation as part of the turn on. Like a lot of dudes who are cucks, they want to sit in the corner and film it, or like if you watch cuck porn, you'll see that like the dudes sometimes are like well, I won't get too graphic, but they're doing all kinds of like humiliating shit, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is different, and I actually heard this term that's called like hot wifeism or hot wifeldry or some shit, where
What's that?
it's like the guy gets turned on by his wife going and having a hot sexual experience, and then she gets turned on by him letting her do it, and then having that degree of trust. Now I
Gotcha.
realize this is like cuck is like a much easier word. Everybody just wants to say the cuck thing, but I don't know. When I read
Wait,
that
is he
definition
coping,
today,
Chad?
I
What
was
the
like,
fuck do you
oh,
mean?
okay, yeah, that sounds like what we're doing. Okay.
Do you Damn, yeah, because my thing is, man, I'm seeing a lot of people talk on the internet. That shit's not getting to you at all. You don't see anybody getting to you, any comments, any posts, any replies, anything
No,
getting to you at all about the
I
hate.
think it's funny, and like I just look at it as like the hate is just like the runoff from the love. Like there's so many people signing up and so stoked on it, and so many people wanting to hear us talk about it and shit,
Do you guys have
that it's
questions,
like,
chat?
okay, then I also have like religious people and people who are anti-porn and people who whatever, like just hate the idea of a guy letting somebody else fuck their wife. And I see that, but it's like, to me, that shit doesn't really matter, because I already, like a long time ago, like decided that I didn't think there was anything wrong with porn, and people will, constantly like try to like make me feel bad about it. And it's like, you're never going to make fun of me for doing porn enough to make me actually feel something about it, because I actually don't fucking care. It's like the same thing when people try to use the God argument on me, or like, what do you think God's going to think about this? It's like, I don't believe in
What
God.
is, what is what is your religious belief? Oh, you're an atheist?
I'm an atheist, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So
And so like basically the hate is like, it just feels like whatever. Like I don't fucking care. Like it doesn't really, if anything, I wonder if it's ever gonna stop. Which, because it's like, it feels like, I posted about this poker live stream I was playing on, and it got like 100 responses from people that were like not interested in poker and just wanted to call me a cuck. And I'm like thinking about the poker stream and like the owners of it, and just wondering like, what the fuck are they thinking about this? But no, I mean, it's all good, bro. It's all engagement. That's the shit that's keeping me like going crazy on Twitter, is just people talking shit.
okay, but
right
that's one thing I realized, Adam. You are very wealthy and successful, and I'm assuming Lena
not
is
like
as well.
you, buddy. Not like you,
But-
$4 million a month guy.
Wow, how the fuck? Who told you that? Anyways,
Talk.
That's chat. That's not real. Okay, I'm making 100,000 a month, maybe max. Nah, but Adam, this is my question, right? My thing is just like, you're super successful. You got everything going on. Did you guys do it for the money at all, or any type of publicity, or did you strictly just do it for fetishes, and stuff like that, like sexual, spicing it up type shit?
I think at first it was mostly about the money, because it was just not that we needed it, but it was just kind of like, oh, like this is kind of like the one thing that if Leonard does this, it'll make her have a crazy ass viral moment. And at that time we were talking about like her not 100% retiring, but almost like just really chilling out, and like just us having a couple more kids, and like her just not really.
Okay,
being in this
that's
world.
my next question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because people, I hate this shit. I hate when people, I tell everyone to leave their kids out of it and shit. And my thing is like, people are like, oh, what about their children, all this stuff. Everyone's got to understand, people are parents in their own ways. But I have a question. How do you have a conversation with your kids one day if they get picked on at school or stuff like that? Have you and Lena spoken about that? Because, that's just something that I think might happen one day. It might haunt them in a way. So
It'll definitely happen. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to like guess, because realistically we probably have like 8 years until
Right.
we have to talk to her about it or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be like, like this is something that mom and
Bro,
dad
you guys are
did
saying
back
the
in the
kid-
day. Like I assume that in like 8 years we won't be doing it anymore. So it'll be a conversation about like, here's this shit that we used to do. Am I a little worried that she's gonna like go through shit from people as a result? Yeah, but I mean, I'm not like flipping out that
Wait,
bad. Like, I feel like
how old is your child?
2.5 right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's got time to for that, yeah.
She's gonna have to have some thick skin, because if it wasn't this shit, like that's the whole thing too. Is like, I mean, yeah, like the idea of like another dude sleeping with her mom might be like even extra weird to her. But I mean, there's already like hundreds and hundreds of threesomes of us with other girls. And if it wasn't that, it's like even just my shit. I've been in a million fucking scandals and controversies that it's like my kid is gonna have a whole huge amount of knowledge about like shit that her parents have been into at some point either way. So it's like, I mean, either way, she's not gonna have the most standard, easy childhood to a certain extent. There's her parents, reputation is always going to be a thing. But I mean, like everything about her life is so smooth and so good, and she's going to the best private schools and shit that, I feel like we're still doing a pretty good job.
Have you had any conversation with family, friends, close friends about this whole thing? Have they said, Adam, what the fuck? Have, people, anyone that's pretty relatively close to you, Arlene, have you guys had any conversation with them at all?
My parents and like my family are just way too polite to say anything about it. I feel like they're just like uncomfortable about it. And I don't know if they know about this, but I've never had a conversation with my family about porn in general. Yeah. Her family basically like the same thing. They just won't talk to her about it. They just kind of ignore it.
It's a touchy subject, so I get it. It's like more of like they don't really they kind of want to beat around the bush, right? They don't want to talk about it.
They just kind of avoid it. I do have like friends of mine and stuff who have been reaching out to me that are basically like, kind of worried, like, hey, are you okay? And I'm basically like, yeah, I'm okay. Like it's almost like disappointing to me that people that I know pretty well don't seem to understand that like this has been a couple of the best weeks of our lives. Like this has been like the most fun.
What? Really?
We're going crazy. What?
I'm saying like you've actually been having fun with this whole internet shit?
Oh yeah, this has been like the best shit ever. Like both in the sense of like me and her are just kind of like exhilarated by all the attention, and we've been fucking like crazy as a result. Somehow it's just brought up a bunch of sexual energy between us. And then, I mean, obviously like she's very business minded. So seeing her business like absolutely explode over the past couple of weeks, that's definitely been good. It's been great for my business as well. Like everything is just I mean, I can't complain at all. Like I was a little bit jealous in the beginning, but that seems like so stupid now in comparison to the fact of just how big this whole thing has gotten. So before I was like hella nervous. Like the rules that I gave her in the beginning, I was like, don't kiss him, don't let him nut in your face, and if I don't want you to do it again, you have to respect that. Those are my 3 rules. And now that third rule, I'm like, I want to be able to call the shots on like if you ever do this again. That seems like kind of crazy now. It's like, oh, of course she needs to do some more scenes with other dudes.
Hold on. Let me say one thing. I'm sorry to cut you off again, but Adam, I watched the video. I saw where he nutted. Can I say it or no?
No, don't. That's a fucking cliffhanger.
I won't spoil it, but you're telling me that's better than the face?
I'm not saying anything. I don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Okay, I know. I was just curious. But my thing is this. Okay, fine. So no kissing, no nutting on the face. Okay, those are the rules. Okay, what about, is Lena allowing you to fuck girls on your own?
See, that's kind of the weird thing about it. I thought about starting my own OnlyFans and like, oh, I can film random scenes with these different girls that I meet who come through the office and shit like that. But then, I don't know, like, I feel like she would want to be like very controlling over what girls I worked with, the same way that I am very controlling over what guys that she wants to work with.
Yeah.
And because both of us are like looking at random chicks like, oh, we don't know what the fuck they're going to say. Or are they going to make something up? Are they going to claim that shit was kind of weird or whatever? So I don't know. Like, I definitely could do that. I mean, she went to a Nelk Boys like car wash. Like she did a video right after she did her scene. And then she told me that like some of the girls who are like, really hot porn stars, that they were like, oh yeah, like tell Adam if he wants to fuck, like we'll come through and like whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, like maybe, like I don't know. I didn't like really take her up on it yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey man, everybody's different. Adam, I'm not here to defend you. I'm not here to offend you. So my thing is I'm gonna stay neutral about this whole thing. I personally, different morals, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're human, I'm human, right? And I do things that you're like, what the fuck? And it's vice versa. So, point is this, I see the message, I think.
What's the message? Women empowerment?
No, fuck that. I'm saying I see the message as in, I'm trying to understand, but I can't understand it. Okay, Adam, I don't think I could ever, I'm not in a relationship right now, but I don't think I could ever witness my wife, doing that. But that's me. And you're a porn star. It's different, And
I honestly, it never would have like crossed my mind in a million years. I never would have known that I actually would enjoy the whole experience of this.
Yeah.
But we gave it a try, and I ended up like having that kind of like weird feeling in the beginning. And now I'm like 100% all in. Like I thought it was super hot. I'm hyped to fuck her with another dude on camera. I'm not because throughout my life, there's been like mad times where me and one of the homies would just fuck some girl together, and including her early on. And I never thought like, oh, this is something I would do with my wife. But then once we actually did it, I was like, oh, like I have no reason to hold back. Like that was great.
Fair
I
enough.
definitely want to do that. I want to do more crazy shit. If anything, I'm realizing that like us pushing the line, pushing the fucking barriers of what's possible in a relationship, that's going to take us to the top, Adin.
All right, fair enough. Let me ask you a question. What's next? Would you allow Lena to get gangbanged in a bowling alley with 4 black people, 4 black guys, 4 BBCs, and Lena the Plug in a bowling alley?
I'm really not into bowling, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, fine, fair enough. It doesn't have to be bowling. It could be anywhere else. A bed, a couch. Would you allow her?
I that's one of the things I told her. I'm like, I'll do a scene, me, you, and another guy.
Bowling was the issue there, huh?
Anything beyond that.
I have a whole scene. Listen, I need my percentage, Adam. This is the scene. You got 5 NBA guys. They're not actually in the NBA. It's role play.
NBA
5 players.
size.
NBA size, you know, they have BBC big dicks, jerseys, they're playing basketball. Lena walks in. I'm looking for blah, 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 blah. And then she, I don't know, like, and then like there's some type of flirtation on the court. She's like, damn, they look good. And then, you know, they grab Lena, put her at the half court line, strip her naked, put a dick in her mouth, her butthole, her pussy, and the other two just like jerk off and they swap. I think if you do a 5-person, 5 BBC gangbang on Lena at the half court line, it's a great idea. I just need my percentage on that.
I mean, I'm kind of like envisioning in my head right now, and it does sound kind of hot, but yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. It's like I gotta do baby steps into anything.
I get it. Okay, so
it's kind of hard. You know, and also, I'm picturing her like standing at the half court line. She's short. She's only 5'2". These guys are like 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole thing. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about that.
All right. Look, I know Lena's about to join in, but before she does, I just want to have one more little man-to-man, you know, type of conversation. It's like, bro, like, just so you guys, you know, you allowing her to do this and stuff, does that grant you, you know, some type of like, how do I say this? Like some type of like something in the relationship where now you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. Does that make sense? Like you did something for her, now can you do something that you want as the man in the relationship?
I mean, in theory,
why
maybe,
are you guys saying the kid is gonna be Hannah Baker? What the fuck does that mean?
Tried to press the line or anything, you know. Pretty much like our relationship already, like
It's
I'm
open.
doing like what I want to do. Like in terms of sex stuff, I'm not really like motivated to like go try to fuck other girls without her, you know. Like if I met a girl and I wanted to fuck her on or off camera, I would probably just tell her like, hey, I met this girl, we should hook up with her, and like I'm pretty sure she would always be down, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like the one thing that people don't seem to understand is like, yeah, she enjoyed shooting the scene with this dude and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's business, it's a money thing. Like I've seen them around each other, and they're definitely cool with each other, but I wouldn't say that they have like some insane chemistry where I'm like worried, like, oh my God, she wants to be hanging around with him instead of me. Like, you know, I'm not really thinking about it in that regard, but would I maybe like have a little bit more leverage to be like, hey, let's hook up with this other girl? I could see it, but I haven't really like thought about it like that too much.
Gotcha. Okay.